Shalom, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, and Barak Yahushai. Let the all praises to you, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone that taught us His word. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect across the planet Earth, pushing this truth, with sincerity and in truth. I just want to talk about Yahushai and the importance of Yahushai and how He is to be worshipped, because you got guys out there that are saying that you're not supposed to worship Yahushai as if He was, just a man, but He was more than just a man. You know, when He walked the planet Earth, He was made a little lower than the angels, but He still had power, and everything revolves, around Yahushai. Even the way we, count time. You had the before Christ years, and then you had the Anno Domini, the AD, which means year of our Lord, roughly paraphrasing or roughly translating. But yeah, you are to worship Yahushua because He was worshipped even as a baby. This is Matthew 2:1. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. Yeah, so you had these wise men that came specifically just to bring gifts and to bow themselves down to worship Yahushua as a baby. So they understood, the importance and the prophecies, saying, where is He that is born King of the Jews? We have seen His star in the east and have come to worship Him. So they knew about the chariot, man. They saw that large chariot that came down, they saw it. And we are come to worship Him. And when Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded them where Yahushua should be born. And they said unto him, Bethlehem of Judea, for thus is written by the prophet. So he was prophesied, man. Hundreds of years, before, his own birth. He was prophesied in the Old Testament. People want to throw away, the Old Testament, say the Old Testament doesn't matter. People saying the New Testament doesn't matter. Certain books of the Bible don't matter. See, all these people, are blind, They're not true men of the Lord, man. They're going off, the blind leading the blind out here, man. But certain men have to play those roles as false prophets, as the scriptures talk about. Verse 6, and now Bethlehem in the land of Judea art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. And you got guys that don't want, the Lord to rule over them, man. And we know the scripture where the Lord said, slay them before me, that don't want the Lord to rule over them, man. You have guys that don't want that. The Lord said to bring them forth and to slay them before Him, Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. When we have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. And when he had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over to where the young child was. So that star wasn't an actual star, it was a chariot. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So those wise men that came to worship the young child, man. So I don't know what these guys are talking about, how you're not supposed to worship Yahweh Shai. I mean, he was being worshipped even as a baby. And he was also prophesied, hundreds of years, you know, prior to his birth. This is Book of Psalms, man, like the time of King David. Uh, he prophesied about, the crucifixion, his death. Psalms 33 or Psalms 22 and 13. They gaped upon me with their mouths as a raving and roaring lion. I'm poured out like water, all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax, it is melt in the midst of my bowels. My strength is dried up like the potsherd, and my tongue cleaveth to my jaws. Thou hast brought me into the dust of death, for dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. Yeah, so that was the whole point of Yahweh Shai, man, going up on that cross, was to redeem the elect of Israel, man. Bring the elect back to the Father through his blood. So that was a very important thing, that the Lord had to do. That was his mission at that time, man. And also to, make right the sins that he did when he was Solomon. All those reincarnations, because Yahweh Shai is written about all throughout the scriptures, man. Many different reincarnations that you've had, if you have the understanding for that. And this is the return, when Yahweh Shai returns. This is Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldees. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Yes, referring to America, O virgin daughter of Babylon, man. Because America has never, been touched before by any, outside invaders. Take the millstone, grind the mill, and cover the locks. Make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass through the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, and thy shame shall be seen. And that's seen that now. America is being exposed for all its wickedness, and all the death, all the bloodshed that's happened on this land in order for this place to be, a great nation that it is today. But it's steadily going down. America's been going down the drain ever since, those Apollo missions, which was also a prophecy, during the 70s. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shai is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Yeah, the Lord's going to take vengeance. The scripture said vengeance is on his mind for that, for what they did to him, man. And I will not meet thee as a man. Yeah, he's coming back in his angelic force, the supreme being. We're not going to be able to put him up on a cross, beat him and spit on him again like they did when he was on the earth. But I will not meet thee as a man, So that's, proof positive right there that he is to be worshipped. Because all things were created for him, by him. As the scriptures say, this is Colossians 1:15. Who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. Yeah, he's the first spirit, the most high, Yahweh, ever created. That in itself, So he is everything, man. For by him were all things created. It says, for by him, so Yahweh Shai created all things, man, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible. So the Lord created all things in heaven and that are in earth, man. Visible, invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. Yes, And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Let me look that up. In the AMP, it says, and he himself existed and is before all things, and in him all things hold together. He is the controlling, cohesive force of the universe. Wow. The cohesive force of the universe, man. So that's a reason to, worship Yahweh Shai right there, man. It's all hey. So these guys, man, they're totally bugged out of their mind. They're saying that, Yahweh Shai is not to be worshipped. You know. So blind men leading the blind. As Philippians 2 and 5, let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahweh Shai, who being in the form of the Most High, thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. Yeah, he came down, he was in the likeness of men, and he was a servant, to his disciples, man. He humbled himself. He was humble, very humble, like it says right what we're about to read. And being found in the fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Yeah, where they nailed him up there, man. They tortured him, abused him, cursed him out, spat on him, and nailed him to the cross. But that was all for a reason. Wherefore the Most High hath highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name. Yeah, that name is above every name, Yahweh Shai, man. With the name of Yahweh Shai, every knee shall bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. That every tongue should confess that Yahweh Shai is Lord, and the glory of the Most High, the Father. Yes, so all the name of Yahweh Shai, every knee shall bow of all things in heaven, though he created the heavens, as we just read in Colossians. It says, for him, by were all things created that are in heaven and in earth. So in heaven, he's getting his glory right now. You just believe in the heavens, everyone's bowing down to Yahweh Shai. And real soon, everyone's going to bow down to Yahweh Shai on the planet Earth. He says all things in earth and things under the earth. And every man is going to confess the name of Yahweh Shai, man. They're not doing it now, but when the Lord comes back the second time to deliver his elect, to beam up his men, and that war in heaven, when he's going to, reveal himself, that second coming. The book of Acts says he shall return in like manner. He left getting beamed up, and he's going to come back in that ship, a large ship, that star, that's referred to in the book of Matthews that we just read. So yeah, the name is above every name. That right there tell you that he should be worshipped, man. This is Hebrews 2 and 5. For unto the angels hath he not put in subjection to the world, or for unto the angels hath he not put in subjection the world to come, whereof we speak. But one in a certain place testified, saying, what is man, that thou art mindful of him, or the Son of Man, that thou visitest him. Thou madest him a little lower than the angels, when thou crownest him with glory and honor, and didst set him over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet, for that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him. Yeah, it says he was set a little lower than the angels. So even when he walked the earth as a man, he still had power to heal. He had the power to call down, a legion of angels. But that wasn't, the plan. He had to go up on that cross, man. But he did heal many things. He committed many miracles when he was on this earth, man. So Yahweh is to be worshipped, man. So with that, Shalom.